Do you love food, meeting new people, sharing historical facts about the history of your city and the food scene there? Then starting a small food tourism business could be the right opportunity for you. Just like all my videos, I break down the finances of a chef's tour founded by Luke Charn, a niche travel business that provides street food tours in 14 different Asian cities, generating $600,000 in annual revenue. It's not uncommon for a chef's tour to book more than 1,000 tours per month. What's even more interesting is that a chef's tour operates on a gross margin of 50%. This means the company retains half of the revenue after covering the expenses of the business. Considering a chef's tour is hiring and paying guides to conduct each tour, this is impressive. You could see even higher margins if you were to operate this business solo in the early days. While a chef's tour operates in multiple cities now, they got started in Bangkok, Thailand with only one food tour and slowly expanded out from there, adding more cities over the years. Think food tours will only work in remote and far off destinations? Think again. I've seen this business model pulled off in US cities like Seattle, New York, San Diego, and even Albuquerque, New Mexico, of all places. Is a food tour business right for you? Let's find out. Like so many of us, Luke was trying to figure out what to do with his life. Luke wanted to travel, but didn't have enough money to really make it happen and dreaded spending the rest of his days working away in an office. I can certainly relate to his story. Eventually, Luke broke down, quit his corporate job, and bought a ticket to Bangkok, Thailand, a destination he knew well from his travels. And upon arrival, Luke hit the streets and started eating his way through every back alley, pushcart, and side street in search of an interesting tour route. Luke was looking for the real deal places that no other food companies would take their guests. Now, opening a food tourism business can be fairly simple, making it ideal for bootstrappers and side hustlers alike. Here are the basics that you need to know to get started. First, you're gonna, of course, need to come up with an interesting tour route. These tour routes can be conducted on bus or on foot. Typically, these routes are gonna work best in urban areas where you can hit a lot of different restaurants or bars in just a few hours. Best case scenario, you can take clients along a route that includes a few historical landmarks like statues, maybe some art, bridges, architecture in the city along the way. That's just going to make it all the more entertaining and enjoyable. Luke personally visits different districts, tastes the food, and writes down the costs to sample food from different restaurants. If you are starting this type of business, I suggest you follow this very hands-on but simple approach. As you get going, you're gonna need a tour guide to take customers along with you on the tour. This tour guide will ideally know the history of a location, be an expert storyteller, and be able to basically tell the story of the city that is gonna make the tour much more memorable and entertaining to customers that sign up for one of your tours. If you're starting out, you, of course, could be the tour guide yourself, or in Luke's case, he partnered with a local chef that understood the area to start running these tours. Luke was able to find his first tour guide by posting a classified ad online. Next thing you're gonna need to do is figure out the laws for food tourism. Believe it or not, in certain cities, you may need a permit or have to follow a certain criteria to conduct a food tour. As an example, Luke found out that in Bangkok, all food tour guides must wear a branded polo t-shirt and make sure to conduct some Google searching on what the requirements are in your area. I also recommend forming a business entity like an LLC to protect your business and make it official. You can find out where I formed my LLC in the description below for only $39 plus state fees. Finally, of course, you've got to build a website and social media presence that describes your food tour. Luke started out by taking photos of the food that would be enjoyed on the tour and wrote about what clients would see and eat during the experience and publish that information on his website. Luke uses a service called Ticketing Hub to sell tickets for tours online. This allows customers to buy food tour tickets through his website. He also built out a basic website using WordPress, which is the most popular platform for building a website available online. As you might expect, having a really good food photos that describe your food tour and writing out detailed descriptions of your tour is extremely important to publish this information on your website and social media. Most customers will look at your website before registering for a tour So it's really important that everything looks good and there are nice looking photos there. After you've got your website set up, you've got a guide, you've got a tour set up, it's finally time to start taking in customers. Luke admits that in the early days, finding customers was not easy. Sales didn't just happen like turning on a switch after he published his website. A big thing that's worked for a chef's tour is joining and getting listed on review websites, specifically TripAdvisor, that generates 30% of the total bookings for his business. Another good option is signing up for a free account with Google My Business. I'll link to this in the description below too so that you can get signed up. But basically, registering for this allows you to show up in the search results when customers search for terms like Boise food tours, for example, in Google. Not to oversimplify this process, but Google My Business listings that provide a lot of information on them, including descriptions, contact information, photos, videos, are going to show up better in the search results than those listings that don't have that information. Also, getting a lot of reviews from clients on your Google My Business listing is going to help you generate a lot more exposure in the search engines. This is the smartest marketing action you can take to get started with this business. To date, a chef's tour doesn't spend any money on traditional advertising like newspaper, radio, even paid online ads. They don't do it. The business has been built on getting positive reviews across different review websites. That's it. So make sure to encourage your customers to leave a positive online review after each tour. So after looking at the revenue and profitability of a chef's tour, would I start this business? Based on the revenue numbers, the gross margin of 50%, and the ability to expand this type of business into an almost unlimited number of markets in the United States or even around the world, I really like this opportunity, especially as a bootstrapper if you don't have a lot of money to get started. According to research too that I've done, the culinary tourism industry is projected to grow to 1.7 billion by 2027 as well. So you've got a nice long runway of projected growth here in the industry that should help rise the tide of all boats. I especially like this, again, because this is something you can start on the side. Started as a side hustle, operated on the weekends for a while. You could easily open up this business for literally a few $100s, create a food tour route, slap up a website, and start testing the idea. If things start to work, you could quickly figure out how to grow the business by hiring part-time guides and expanding into new regions. In other words, a culinary tourism business could be started with minimal financial risk, but still has the upside to scale, and you can grow the business further if you want to. Also, one other thing, I like that you could grow this business beyond just a food tour. You could start offering wine tours, you could do brewery tours. After you build up a client list, I'm sure there are tons of other opportunities to sell things like vacation packages that could be developed later on. Now, the downside to this business. This business is not for everyone, obviously. I think you've got to really love working with people and have genuine passion for sharing the history and culinary flavors of your town to open up this type of business. This is one of those businesses where you'll be getting the same questions from customers on every tour. You'll also have to expect the occasional customer is going to have a bad experience and leave you a bad review online. So you'll need a little bit of a thick skin. You'll also have customers who demand refunds. This is without question a people business. If you really want to grow the food tourism business beyond yourself, you're going to need to focus on hiring and training guides. Finding reliable guides isn't always going to be easy. And if you have a bad tour guide, it could literally ruin your business in a certain location if you let that person to continue to work for you long term. So what type of a food tourism business are you planning to start? Where are you planning to run it? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you got something out of this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Each video I share revenue numbers from real businesses across all types of industries to help you evaluate the right business to get into. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.